Today I've got 10 perfect 10 fragrances that are almost guaranteed to blow you away. But with a catch, these may not be what you're thinking initially. So whatever may first pop into your head due to the amount of hype surrounding them, these aren't those. So it's a little bit of a twist. We're not going over the things that are the first things that come to your mind. We're kind of trying to dive in and look into some corners of my collection that I don't normally touch on in order to bring you guys some new things that you could check out if maybe you haven't yet. And with that, I do have some things in here that you probably have smelled before as well. There's a nice balance here with this video because at the end of the day, a lot of the really, really good, mind-blowing 10 out of 10 fragrances have been covered quite a bit already. And a lot of you guys who have already invested a lot of time into this hobby have smelled a lot of those. But there's a few up my sleeve that maybe you haven't checked out yet. And now if you want to pick up any of these, I will drop some links for you down below to discounters. Also, if you're into short form content, I'm over on TikTok now. You can go check that out. My fiance is primarily running that. And so there's going to be content over there that you can't really get anywhere else. And then again, it's going to be obviously short form. If you want the rapid fire stuff, if these 10-15 minute videos are just too long for you, you can check that out. I've got a mailing list you can get on as well. So if you want to have a chance of getting any sort of rare, discontinued, hard to find fragrances, hit the first link down below, sign up, it's completely free. Let's get started with Dolce & Gabbana Velvet Incenso. So this, I don't know what you really call it, or rather what they call it, what this line is. It's kind of like essentially it's their private blend in Tom Ford terms, but from brand to brand, they're going to have a different name for it. Sometimes it's the exclusive line or whatever they may call it. But essentially, there's a few in this line that are really, really good. This is one of them. There's also Velvet Exotic Leather. Fantastic. That one is harder to get though. And so for all intents and purposes with this video, this is the one that I chose. However, there are a lot of really good ones. This one's got incense, it's got some benzoin in here, some elemi, so it's smoky, it's kind of vanillic, a little bit resinous, very sweet, has a nice spicy texture to it. There's something about this one that's quite magical. It's captivating, smells amazing, it's borderline, dare I say, intoxicating. This stuff is beautiful, and it has kind of I don't know, a little bit of an exotic type of smell to it, even though, there's Velvet Exotic Leather, which is in the name of that one. But this really does have a smell similar to, I don't know, something that you don't normally get every day, especially from designer brands. Now, this is a little bit more expensive than your typical Dolce & Gabbana scent. However, with that, price raise, you do get something that is higher quality, more unique, and in the case of this one in particular, it actually performs really, really good. One that I've had for a while. I've featured it here and there, sprinkled into some videos over the past few months or whatever, pretty spread out. But ultimately, this is one that a lot of people probably haven't tried yet, but you should if you're after something different. This next one is a scent from a huge niche brand, one of the most popular niche fragrance brands. However, it's one that is significantly underutilized in my opinion. When you think of the brand of Creed, you might think Aventus, Green Irish Tweed, Viking, Silver Mountain Water, Millesime Imperial, things of that nature. And there's many more as well. How many people really think Royal Oud when Creed first comes to mind? Probably a good amount of you, sure. However, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the clone market, there are so many clones of the others that I just listed. Even Erolfa, there's clones of Erolfa, and that one also isn't all that popular either. Royal Oud, there's a clone of it out there currently. It's Afnan Highness 3 Green. But aside from that, and just in general, this one does not get nearly as much love as I think it deserves. This is one of the best offerings from Creed, in my opinion. Now, obviously this one is going to have some oud, only makes sense. However, don't let that scare you off. And I think that is one of the downfalls of this one, is the name oud scares people off. Which you get the most of actually is cedarwood, sandalwood, pink pepper. So essentially this could have been called Royal Wood or Royal Cedarwood or something along those lines, because that's what you get most of. The pink pepper, the sandalwood follow, and then after that, a little bit of oud in here, but it's actually kind of a fresh oud. There's a little bit of a menthol type of freshness out of this one also. There's kind of a green aromatic feeling too. This stuff, again, is amazing. Big fan of this one, and you know, it's expensive, even on discounters. You're paying up for it big time. And it's not in everyone's pocketbook. Totally makes sense. I'm not saying everyone should just go out and buy this one. But if you're looking for an offering from Creed that isn't done to death like most of them are nowadays, check out Royal Oud. Great stuff and super versatile. Now this next one is one that you probably haven't tried, not because you've been against it, but because for the past several years it has been just about next to impossible to find. It's Mercedes-Benz Club Extreme. So this one just popped into stock recently on Fragrance By, 100 ml, just like this, 50 bucks, okay? And this came out in 2015, seemed to have been either just a limited edition or something that was discontinued pretty quickly after, because prior to Fragrance By, when you would look on eBay and other places, next to impossible to find. Like, there were such limited amounts of this one out in circulation after the fact, which led me to believe that it was a pretty quick release and then cut off pretty soon after, because normally things that have been out for several years and get discontinued, there's always some sort of circulation, but not with this one until recently, randomly, for whatever reason. I don't really know how it happened, but they got a bunch of this. I would recommend buy it first and think later, because it's so rare that if worse comes to worse, you bought it, you sprayed it a few times, you didn't like it, you'll get your money back in the gray market. This one's got patchouli, leather, amber, and just some woods in here. Beautiful patchouli scent. Actually kind of reminiscent of Mugler's Angelman, kind of that coffee, chocolatey, patchouli type of accord that you get from Angelman. There's no coffee in here listed, but it just kind of gives off that impression and kind of that chocolatey feel and this dusty kind of cacao smell, even though the notes don't quite add up. That's kind of just the way this one goes. Just almost touching over to the line of a gourmand, but not fully. Beautiful scent though. It's leathery, it's rich, it's woody, it's sweet, smells fantastic. For the price, this stuff is a no-brainer. And it's super rare otherwise, so it's a nice one to check out and it will set you apart. Next up we have POLO Cologne Intense, this giant 8-ounce bottle, I believe. You can get this size bottle for like $70, something like that. Maybe 80, 60, 70, 80, somewhere around in there, give or take 30 bucks. Somewhere like that, where when I was looking at the other bottle sizes, I knew that this is completely ridiculous and I will never burn through a quarter of it or a third of it maybe. However, why not? I mean, just look at it. Why not? This one's got basil, mint, patchouli, and ambroxan in here. This smells great. You know, this is a newer release, and when it first came out, I had zero interest. And normally, I'm usually pretty good about, especially checking out Ralph Lauren scents, but just new scents in general. However, for whatever reason, I looked at this and I was like, I want nothing to do with that. I don't know why, but that's just what I did. It's been on sale multiple times at retailers. You can get it on discounters for a really good price. Like I said, a giant bottle like this, under $100, well under it. And so the normal size bottles are also really good priced, $40, $50, right? So it's not a price issue. It was just, it didn't compel me to dive into it. I got it recently and I love it. It's fantastic. It's green, it's minty, it's a little bit earthy, it's aromatic. Smells fantastic. I love that opening. I mean, this is just really, really good, and it shocked me in the best way possible. This is great. You can spray it on heavily. You can wear it to any situation. It's great for the upcoming spring season. You can wear it into summertime as well. Generally, maybe more climate controlled. There would be better options for hot summer days, but this one does bring versatility to the table, brings great quality to the table. Performance, not really the best, nothing to write home about, not horribly awful either. It just does a lot of things really well, and it definitely exceeds its price. When you look at the value to price ratio, this one knocks it out of the park in my opinion. Great stuff, very impressive. Up next, we have a newer release here, somewhat. Hugo Boss The Scent. This is the Le Parfum Flanker. So We're already onto magnetic this year, which for the record is really, really good. However, I really like this one also, and it's continued to grow on me ever since I first got it in. It's got maninka, iris, woody notes, and leather in here. So you could imagine, you toss a little bit of iris into something and I'm just gonna go for it, right? Now it's not completely taking over the scent. This doesn't smell like Dior Homme Intense or insert your favorite iris fragrance there. It's not to that level. However, it mixes with the manica fruit perfectly, and it just adds a nice little bit of a supplementation to it, and a little bit more of a silky smooth sweetness. Some of the leather comes into play to kind of give it a little bit more of a masculine edge along with the woods. We're just kind of keeping it from tipping the scale over into something that gets too feminine leaning. And I think this one has done a really good job with the balance, with the fruity manica fruit kind of sweetness and that iris, and then the leather, everything of that nature. It smells fantastic. With this line, they are getting discontinued pretty quick. Not this one, this just came out, but Private Accord, Absolute, the Scent Intense, all of those are not looking too good, especially the Scent Intense and Private Accord. Absolute you can still get, but it is going up in price. The other two, though, next to impossible to get. And on eBay, they are getting very expensive. So they're obviously making room for more of these. It makes sense. It's the vicious cycle of these flankers. That's just the new normal, right? That being said, though, this one here is a really good one to check out. Speaking of some of my favorite iris scents, one that pretty much everyone knows and has and has smelled, and there's nothing new about this, but I wanted to put it in anyway. It's Valentino UOMO Intense. Truly a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece. I have no problem saying that. You know, for me, this just does it all. You get that sweet iris, you get some leather support, you get some woods in here, a little bit of a chocolatey feel also. You know, there are times where I, of course, crave Dior Homme Intense, but there are also times where I really just want Valentino UOMO Intense. This combination is so, so good. It just smells amazing. It's silky, it's smooth, it's creamy, and it's not as lipsticky and sweet in that direction as the Dior is. The leather and everything else, and even some of the woods, really bring this one back, and it's just a different wearing experience altogether. It's just one of my all-time favorites. When I first got it, I wasn't as excited about it as I am now. I was just hooked on the Dior. Over time, I've been wearing it more, smelling it more, and all of that, and it's really started to grow on me to the point where I just love it. I gotta have it. I wear it all the time when it's cold outside. I'm getting in my last few wearings of it now because spring is quickly approaching, and I'll be putting this one away until the end of the year. So great stuff. Again, a 10 out of 10. You probably know it, you probably have it, but I wanted to feature it anyway. Up next, we have another newer one, new as of last year. MANCERA Intense CEDRAT. Now I'm kind of second guessing myself. This was new of last year, right? I believe it was. Things are starting to run together. We had Tonka Cola this year. I think this was last year. Pretty sure? I think. I guess it doesn't matter too much. It's one of their newer offerings. It is their first intense flanker from the MANCERA side. It's their first straight from the MANCERA side. That's pretty cool. And personally, I think they couldn't have done it with a better one. I think this was the one to bring back as an updated flanker. CEDRAT, it's proven itself. It's done great. I'm sure it's done amazing numbers for the brand. It's probably been the scent that has carried the brand to the popularity that it is today, or at least one of them. Red Tobacco and Oud Lemon Mint to follow, right? But CEDRAT is probably one of the main ones people think of when they think MANCERA. So it only made sense for them to bring it back, make it stronger, make it richer, make it more interesting. It does all of that. So you get the same note breakdown, but with a little bit of oud in here. Not too much. It doesn't take it crazy, but just a tiny little bit. And again, it's all about adding depth, adding complexity, and making it more interesting to the wearer. In this case, us fragrance enthusiasts, when we're looking for stuff like that. And yes, they made it stronger. I never had an issue with the performance from the eau de parfum. It seems though, as over the years, people have been claiming that it's been getting watered down, weak, or whatever. So whether that's the case or not, this will solve that problem. 12 plus hours at a minimum. This stuff is completely crazy strong. And for me, it's a 10 out of 10. Fantastic flanker, and if I had to choose between the eau de parfum and the intense, I'm going this one any day. This next one just might be one of my favorite discoveries within the past couple years, legitimately. This is not new. I believe 2017, came out. I'm not the first one to discover this. You know, again, it's been out for a while. I just never thought to pick it up until now, which is very dumb, and I feel stupid because I've been missing out on it for all this time. There's something intriguing about this one, and I can't figure out what it is, but I love it. I think it's amazing, and I got it for $64 or $65 US. It retails for $140. Amazing savings, and at 65 bucks, this almost feels like a steal. Feels like I legitimately stole it. LALIQUE Ombre Noir. Truly a work of art. I mean, this is just hands down amazing. If you haven't tried this yet, don't wait around like I did. Get it as soon as you can. I mean, just look at the color of that stuff. Looks amazing. This one's got cognac, tobacco, and patchouli in there. I believe a little bit of cinnamon as well, although I could be wrong on that. You know, the notes may not look like anything special, right? There are other fragrances that share those notes in common, right? As is with a lot of things in general. However, notes can be deceiving. There is nothing else on the market that smells like this that I've tried. I mean, it is remarkable. You literally get something that smells like, I don't know, an oak barrel, like a cedar wood, oak plank, doused in this cognac boozy accord, the sweet booziness, some patchouli in here, the tobacco leaf. So it's a tobacco leaf, not tobacco itself. It's a leafier, kind of fresher, almost aromatic tobacco smell. It just is remarkable. I mean, truly amazing. It kind of smells like a high-end night out. You know, there's fine cigars involved. There's, you know, high-end, nice drinks involved. There's people of class and status all around. There's just something about this that is just hard to describe in the best way possible. Fragrance By, they got them in 65 bucks, sold out really quick. When that comes in stock again, I'll send an email out to you guys so you can take advantage of that deal as well, because it's worth it. This stuff, though, is amazing. 10 out of 10 easily. Second to last, we have another niche product that I wanted for a very long time, but for the longest time, you couldn't get it. Even from the official website at full retail, it was out of stock. I believe it was a supply chain issue or something. I don't really know for sure, but ultimately, it's back. Bond number 9, New Harlem. So you can get it at full retail. Would I pay full retail? No, I wouldn't. I bought this at Fragrance By. They got some in, pulled the trigger on it. Fragrance Net has also got these in stock several times. And again, each time either place gets it in stock, I send out an email so you guys can get them. They always sell really quick. And I think I paid maybe $160, $170 at retail. They're in the 300s, I believe. So a little bit expensive. Kind of hard to make myself pull the trigger at that price. I would probably wait, but just depends. What does this smell like? It is the ultimate gourmand. This literally smells like a breakfast, but there's no like semi-healthy, you know, eggs or a breakfast meat of some sort. This is the type of breakfast where it's all sugar and sweets. Pancakes, waffles, a bunch of syrup, and coffee with a load of creamer in it. That's what this smells like. It literally smells like pancakes with syrup, guys. I'm not kidding. There is like a coffee or cappuccino accord in here as well, and that's kind of where that comparison's coming from. But it's crazy, but it smells amazing. The first time I got this one in, I was so thrilled. It smelled great. Had my fiance smell it. I'm like, what does this smell like? And she kind of, you know, said a similar thing. Like, yeah, it does kind of smell like a breakfast in that type of way. It's weird. Might not appeal to everybody, but it is pretty cool. I love it. I think it's fantastic. If you're a gourmand lover, you gotta have this. And last up for this video, Tom Ford Noir Extreme. This is the Parfum. I'll take this over the EDP. Never had good luck with performance on the EDP. The Parfum has fixed it. You get that kulfi, that cardamom, that sweetness. This one in particular brings in some more leather, so it's actually a little bit more masculine, a little bit more rugged, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more modernized. You get a real nice kind of dirty, kind of earthy, spicy texture from that leather. Smells great. You get the gourmand aspects all around that. Nice stuff. The way to go, in my opinion. It's a little bit more expensive, even at discounters. However, with the performance issue being fixed and just the the scent DNA being bumped up, it's worth the jump. Save a little bit more money and just go for this one. If you're going to buy one, just do it right and get the Parfum. That's how I look at it. I think it's great. This DNA is awesome. It just got even better with the Parfum though. Great stuff. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 perfect 10 fragrances that are almost guaranteed to blow you away. Links will be down below. Deals will be going out to my mailing list. If you want to get any of these ones in here that are a little bit hard to find, LALIQUE Ombre Noir, Bond Number 9, New Harlem. Anytime they come in stock, I send an email out. The email list takes priority. The community tab gets it second. So if you want a fighting chance at getting these, because they sell quick, get on that mailing list. It's completely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.